Now, somebody did ask me about the long line that I use, so I'm just going to quickly explain it. I tried to do this yesterday up the back lane, but it was like the M25. There was tractors and delivery lorries and cars and I kept having to stop and move my pop and my camera out of the way and then back, and oh, it was all muddy. Oh, it was a nightmare, so I thought I'll do it here. Okay, so this is the one I'm using at the moment, and as you can see, it's relatively lightweight and it's 30 foot long. And I get all of my stuff from Amazon really, and I knot it so that it's comfortable for me. So the knot is on my left hip. So it depends on how many people are going to use it. If you've got a really, really big person that's going to use it, you have to obviously adjust it accordingly. So when I'm using this, and if I want to shorten it, it's got to be knotted, because otherwise it will slip up here and strangle you. Okay, so you put it through there and knot it. And then to make a long lead shorter, can you see? I put it over here and then I tie it. Okay, so now I've got a shorter long line. And now a shorter one. And a shorter one. So if you want to, you can just use it as a lead. You can double turn this if you need to make it more secure. And so then I've still got my hands free and I can just have my long line. So no matter where I am, I can have the long line at the length that is safe for her. So for example, if I'm walking down the street or something like that, I can have my long line and she will still be safe away from traffic. But then I can just undo it. Depending on how much space I've got, I can just undo it, and then I've got a longer line and a longer line and a longer line. So then I've got the 30 foot and she's safe. And once she learns the this way game, and you just say this way and off you go, and then she learns that this is the magic circle, then hopefully she will stay close to you, relatively close. And then when she's in a safe area, you can just unclip the lead. If you know that she's safe, you can unclip the lead and say, go play, and off she goes to play. So I use the lead, especially on the beach, until I find out where the dogs, where all, you know, there's loads and loads of dogs at the beach I use. And I want to make sure that she's safe and that they don't get upset with having a puppy, bouncy puppy all over them. So I ask the owners, is your dog good with puppies, and would you mind if I let them play and take the long line off? And yesterday she had the best fun ever. There was about 8 dogs all playing with her, all galloping round and round, and it was fabulous because they were all really wonderful temperaments. And today we're going to a field that we've booked, and it's a special dog field. It's 2 acres. It's about 10 minutes drive from here, and it's fenced all the way around. It's secure and there's parking, and so I'm going there to meet a friend who's got a young German Shepherd who's, I think, about 9 months old, a year old, and so hopefully they'll have a good old play in the field. So of course she won't need the long line. So if I just take this off, and then I'm going to now transfer her. I'm going to start using my horse lunge, because this, it's fine, but it's a bit too thin. You know, she's getting a big dog now. So I'm going to use a horse lunge. And if you look at this, is padded and it can hold a horse. So obviously it's going to hold a German Shepherd, you see. So, and it's the same thing. You have it round your body, and if you're working with your dog on the left hand side, you have the knot on the left hand side. If for any reason, if you have mobility problems and you don't want the dog on the left hand side because you use a stick or for whatever reason, and you want the dog on the right hand side, then you have this on this side, okay, so that the dog learns to walk to your right. But mine is, the default is on the left hand side. And you just do the same, exactly the same with this, and you can make it whatever length you want to. Okay, now if you don't want to be bothered with all of this, you can use just a lead, and you can attach a lead onto a long line. Now I've got two of these. I've got her one that I keep clean for when we go to posh places, so she's got a clean lead. Or I use this one. This gets muddy. Okay, so this is a training lead, and it's 11 foot long, and I got this from Amazon as well. So as you can see, here, look, here, and it's got a ring here, and a ring here, and another ring here. And I really like this lead. I have got a shorter one that's 8 foot, but I like the 11 foot one. And so what you can do is just put this around your body, and you can have this attached on to the dog. And the great thing about these is that if you wanted to, you can attach onto a long line, so you've got it, and you can attach a long line onto the end of this, but you can just wrap it around your body if you need to, so that there's loads of ways that you can tie it up like this, so that you can just tie it behind you like this, so that when you're walking along, your hands are still free to walk with your dog, and if you need your lead, you can quickly get it and attach it onto her. And they're really strong and safe, and they've got really good clips on them. Getting tangled up with my clicker. Okay, so now I don't ever attach this onto a collar or the long line onto a collar. I always use a harness. So now this is a cozy dog harness, okay? So her head goes here, and then this goes in between her legs here, and then clips up here and here. Now you might wonder what I've got this on here for. And I've been using these cozy dogs harnesses for donkey's years, because they're washable and they're lovely and soft, fleece lined, and I've never had one fail on me yet. However, there's always could be a first time. So what I do is I attach a carabiner here onto here, and this is one that is very strong to take her weight. And then I've got some paracord, and I attach this onto her collar, so that if, in the very, very unlikely event that the harness should fail for any reason, then I've got a backup, and this is attached to her collar. And her collar is a nice strong collar as well. So I'm still using the harness to hold her with, but this is like what we would call belt and braces. So this, she's safe. So now this one is one that I had made. I used to have these made when I was training, when I was out training, you know. And these are lovely, and you can see they're fleece lined and they're very strong, and they've got this and this and very strong clips, but they're only 6 foot long, and so they're not long enough for me, but you can still use them if you just want to attach them around here and then attach a long line onto them. Now the one thing I am going to show you is how you hold your lead, because I'm pretty sure, I'll use this one. This is going back, way back, 50 years. Okay. Now, you have your lead like this, your training lead, and you attach it on to your dog here, like this. This hand is loose, so the lead just slips through this hand. This hand is your anchor hand, so when you're walking along there is no tension on this hand, on this lead. You don't want any anxiety or anything going down the lead to the dog. So by having this as a loose one, and your right hand is your anchor hand, so your dog is there, and you're walking along with your dog safe, but you've got the anchor hand. And then of course you can have this at whatever length you want to. So if you want a looser lead and you're walking along, you can have it like this. So your right hand is your anchor hand and your left hand is loose. And you must never ever wrap a lead. Anyone with horses will tell you, if you wrap a lead like this and the dog takes off, if it's a big dog, you're gone. Dislocate your shoulder, you're over on the floor, break your hip. So you have this loose, so no tension goes down the lead, and this one is your anchor hand, so you can always brace yourself. If the dog goes and you have to let this go, you can brace yourself, you've got it. Okay. Now, I obviously showed you how I use this going across my body, and you must make sure that if you use it this way, is that your bodily strength, your core strength, is strong enough to hold the dog if it does lunge. So you've got to be able to be strong. Now, I'm not skinny by any means, and I'm saying it was the steroids I've been on, okay? But there's very few dogs that has pulled me over, and I think the only one that I can remember out of all of the thousands of dogs that I've worked with was a Great Dane. And we were in an enclosed area. It was really quite funny, and it was on a place where I was exercising the dogs and training the dogs, and it was just me, the owner, and this new Great Dane, and he hadn't been castrated at that stage because he was a new rescue dog. And a farm collie came along to the outside of the fence, and as the Great Dane bent down to sniff the collie through the thing, the collie weed on his head. He lifted his head, cocked his leg and weed on his head. Well, the Great Dane roared and the collie ran, and I went with the Great Dane. So that was the only time, because I wasn't kind of expecting that to happen. So I didn't brace myself. So anyway, that was quite funny. Afterwards, it was quite funny. So just be aware that if you are using this across your body, that you practice it in a safe place, and that you know your strength and the strength of your dog, and get to know what your dog is likely to do. And if it's a dog that lunges at other dogs, then maybe this is the better option for you. Okay? So I hope that helps. And now the next video I'm going to do is trying to stop dogs from scavenging. So see you in the next video. Bye!